Welcome to Come and See, your podcast for finding truth in a world of chaos. Brought to you by All for Jesus Living Waters Ministry. With host and founder Richard Case and co-host and retreat leader Kathy Ricconi. Join us every weekday at this time to discuss news, spend time in the Word, and receive answers to your personal questions about living life in God's truth. And now your host, Richard Case.
Well, good morning, Kathy. Here we are on Monday, picking up our series on overcoming worry, fear, and anxiety.
Good morning.
So we have a great week ahead and keep going with our processing. We've been getting into the aspect of what causes worry, fear, and anxiety. And again, it usually is around uncertainty, that I'm not sure what's going to happen. As far as I can see, something has been negative that's come against me of some kind. I've had a circumstance that isn't working. I got a relationship issue that isn't working. I got a financial issue. I got a business issue, and things aren't not what I thought they were going to be.
Right.
And so I worry about the outcome. And I'm not sure about the outcome. My experience, usually with most people, is because the world is, remember we've talked about this, is full of trouble. And Jesus said that, and in the world you're going to have trouble. We're under the control of the enemy. It's entropy. Things are falling apart, destructive, kill, steal, and destroy. Things are difficult. And we're in a difficult time with the COVID and the uncertainty of that, and the economy, and getting back to work.
And the media actually plays into the fear and anxiety and feeds it for so many people.
Yeah. And that everything is presented as negative, which is kind of the culture of the world, and we're part of it. So that in our lifetime, we can say I've had a lot of bad things happen, and they didn't seem to work out. Some of them seemed to be okay, but most of them didn't work out, and I had a negative impact. So your expectation is that the outcome isn't going to work out, and it's probably going to be difficult, and I'm going to have trouble. So I go to worry, fear, and anxiety, and of course we've been setting it up. Is that this is what God is trying to say to us? Is that I want you to live in shalom. Let me give you my peace, because I'm going to resolve this. I guarantee I'm going to resolve it. You can trust me, I'm going to resolve it. And you can live in peace while I'm resolving it. Don't wait until it's finished, but rather, now. We went through a whole series of, as we've now gone into this place of, now we're looking at getting instruction. What do we do about this? How do we handle this? What do you want us to do? What are you going to do? How are you going to resolve this? And I need instruction. And by the way, the instruction is to be on God's path. He's got to put you in the right place at the right time with the right people, so that He can deliver the resolution. And He says the key is you got to be with me, and be on my path, not your path. Not you resolving it, not you taking over, not you trying to figure out the outcome, but let me deliver it to you, which means you got to be with me and walk with me, and listen to my instruction. And last time we talked about this one beautiful story in Timothy, and then goes on into John, that, if you're going to be steadfast in the process of receiving instruction and following God, is pray the confession that Christ made to Pilate. And we went into that whole discussion, and what Christ's confession was: those that hear my voice are of the truth and have a heart for the truth. And it's all about the heart. Are you going to listen, to what I have to say? As you look at the situations that people are in, and you're in, or I'm in, or we're all in, it's always, let's go ask God. What do you have to say about this? Give me the ability to hear, because I have a heart to hear, lead me to the truth. So I'm not trying to force the outcome or tell God I want it to look like this, but rather what is the truth about this particular thing that you want me to understand. So that particularly in relationships, we spent quite a bit of time on this, our preference about resolving relationships would be, well, God, have them say they're sorry and make it all right.
And right away, please.
Yeah, and do that right away. Well, God says, well, let me lead you into the truth because there's free will involved here, so that this person isn't going to say they're sorry because they're not sorry. They're self-centered and they don't care about you. And they're going to keep hurting you and they're going to keep opposing you and they're not going to make it right. Yeah, they harmed you, but they're not going to make it right. That's the truth. Lead me into the truth, because he said if you have a heart to hear it and you said, okay, let me hear that truth, when you heard that truth and God said, well, that's not going to happen, what would be our next question?
Okay, then what do I do now?
Yeah, okay, now
so it's
what?
still just back to another question. Now what?
Yeah, so it's always, it's a constant as we're walking down his path of instruction. Well, now what? Okay, now that I see this truth and I understand this, what now? What would you have me understand now? What do you want to do now? What do you want me to do? What instruction do you have for me? And it's always about, I want to receive the truth, and I'm not going to try to tell you what to do with it. Rather, how are you going to resolve this, knowing that you will? And that's the whole beauty of it, is I can overcome worry, fear, and anxiety all the time, because I don't need to go there. I need to go, okay, well, I got a problem here. I got a sticky wicket. I got a difficulty. What are you gonna show me that I can now live in and enjoy the freedom of resolution? And so it's a beautiful thing. Well,
and sometimes even, I was just going to highlight, because in that example you were talking about, God giving a warning, hey, this person has no desire to go to resolution. Sometimes what you hear is they have no desire, don't go there right now. And then you come months down the road, at least this has been my experience, and God will bring that person back to mind and say, oh, by the way, I've worked on their heart. Yeah. Now it's time.
Yeah.
And so it's that always checking in and walking with him and allowing him, because there's so many other factors at play than we can begin to fathom or see. And so if we just trust him with that, then when he does give us the prompt to step back in, we can also trust that.
Yeah, that's right. And so that leads us, as we're in this aspect of seeking God's wisdom and seeking his instruction, is this whole aspect of waiting. Mm-hmm. This is really, really hard for people, for us to live out and experience, because we're lousy at this.
Right.
And particularly in our culture, with the speed at which things go. And this is particularly true of young kids, and I've noticed this because of their application of computer. And I noticed this probably about, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 years ago. But TV is edited, and there's the scenes that you watch. So if you go back, for example, and one of my wife Linda, we call her Lucy Ricardo because she kind of acts like her, and she's one that has a lot.
She is that entertaining too.
She's entertaining, and she gets herself in pickles, and it's like honey, how can you do that, But if you go back and watch I Love Lucy, the cameras were kind of set, and they didn't flash back and forth. You saw the whole scene for a long time.
Oh, that's true. That's interesting. I never thought about that.
So you would observe, you would just sit there and receive the whole story, really almost in one setting. Well, I noticed this 10 or 15 years ago, 20 years ago, that the people who were doing the editing, they're only on something for like 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And then they flash to another one, and they flash to another one, and they flash to another one.
Right.
And if you see that in movies, you see it in TV shows. And it's no longer that the cameras are there and you're just watching the whole thing. You are in a very high volume of movement from one thing to another. And so what happened is it shortened the attention, what they call the attention of people.
Attention span, yeah.
Attention span, because they got so used to everything being so fast, and your computer is that way, and your iPhone is that way, and everything you do is flash, 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 so that to be able to sit and just kind of be patient and wait is really difficult, because I think we've been conditioned against it.
Right.
And I think it was through the TV, through the computer, through the way that we function. Look at watch, and you can go try this, everybody at home. Go watch an advertisement tomorrow on TV. You'll see it. It doesn't have an image more than 4 or 5 seconds, and it's just boom, 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 boom. And so you're used to now. So what happened?
I need to ask my teacher friends, because back when I was in school learning to teach, they said, every 10 minutes, essentially, you needed to shift in some way, shape, or form because of attention spans, to make sure that you were working through the variety of learning styles. And about every 10 minutes, that's about all you could hold their attention.
Yeah.
And I'm curious now, that was 25 years ago. I'd love to know now what they're teaching kids in terms of that. I'll have to ask Anna if she has insight on that. Yeah,
it'll be interesting. But and so we're so used to if I need information, get on the computer and get it. I can expect it to be given to me instantaneously, and we want things resolved. And the ability of email and text and cell phones is that we get people calling us, we got people contacting us, and what do they expect?
Oh, right away. Immediate response, immediate access.
I want a response. I want you to respond to this. Matter of fact, if you don't, they kind of like, what's wrong with you?
Right.
How come you're not responding to me? And we're getting used to instantaneous, resolution as far as we're concerned. Now, with God, see, the resolution of things is going to take a while.
Right.
Because things have to come together, and he's working many, many angles and many, many dimensions. And it can take days, weeks, even months for things to get finalized and brought together and resolved, because he's not operating in our fast-paced, I got to have it now world, which, by the way, we're asking him to. Would you please?
Right.
And he said, well, you need to follow me, and I know better than you, and my timing is perfect.
Right.
Wait for my instruction. Wait for my work. Well, the whole aspect of waiting is a struggle, and Scripture tells us a lot about this, so that we'll try to unpack this. So what does it mean to wait as we're in the process of God resolving it? So if you go to Psalm 40, 1-4. Psalm 40, 1-4.
I waited patiently for the Lord. He inclined to me and heard my cry. He drew me up from the pit of destruction, out of the miry bog, and set my feet upon a rock, making my steps secure. He put a new song in my mouth, a song of praise to our God. Many will see and fear and put their trust in the Lord. Blessed is the man who makes the Lord his trust, who does not turn to the proud, to those who go astray after a lie.
Yeah. So it said, I cried out. I got a problem. I'm in a sense stuck in the mud. I don't know what to do here. I've got a problem. I can't seem to resolve it. I'm slugging through it, and I'm kind of stuck. I don't have a way to go with this. He said, so I waited patiently for God. I cried out, and when I cried out, what did God do?
He actually heard me.
Yeah, he heard.
And it says inclined and heard my cry. And that word for inclined, I remember studying before, is literally to bend down and listen.
Yeah.
And I just love that image there, the caring image of that.
Yeah, yeah. So when it says waited, I waited patiently for the Lord. I cried out. What would you be waiting for?
For an answer,
For an answer.
for resolution, and all of the above. It's that
Yeah.
space, the liminal space, they say, between what is and what's next.
Remember, the first action is, well, what I really need is to know that he heard me. And he says, I inclined my ear, like you said, I bent down. I heard you. I'm going to let you know I heard you. Now, wait for that so that you get encouragement from that. And then he says, I'm going to set your feet upon a rock so that you can move forward based upon your trusting of me to move you forward out of that being stuck. And I'm going to resolve this issue by getting you unstuck.
That's good.
Because you're not going to be in the clay anymore. You're not going to be the miry clay. I'm going to set your foot upon a rock. And you're gonna be stable and be able to move freely, and you're gonna rejoice.
Yeah, with steps secure, it says, making my steps secure.
Make
I
my
like
steps
that picture.
secure. So
Yeah.
I know now which way to go. And so what I'm waiting for is two things. One is, I'm going to wait for him to assure me that he heard me. And now he's going to start to deliver to me, getting me unstuck. He says, I'm going to do it. So if you're waiting, what are you knowing? Well, I'm going to get unstuck.
Right.
I am going to get unstuck. Now, the waiting it's in his timing. So don't say, well, fix it today. Take care of it right now, because I need it done right now. And if you don't, I guess I'll take care of it myself. He says, well, I can wait longer than you. So let me do it. I'm going to do it. I'll show you what that looks like. I'll show you what I'm going to do that. But I'll get you out of this mess if you allow me to. And you got to wait for me to do it. And I'll let you know right away. I heard you because I'm going to be speaking to you my instruction. And that's the key. What are you waiting for? Let me hear what you have to say.
It's funny as you say that. I think about some of the beauty of technology is texting from a friend or something. I remember there's times when I have been praying to God and crying out for whatever answer it was that I was seeking. And I would get up and I'd step away, and all of a sudden I would receive a text from a friend that has a Bible verse that speaks exactly just what you're talking about. And that would be like, a God wink of him just saying, hey, by the way, I want you to know I heard you, and I'm working. So I heard you, you sit tight.
Right.
And there's so many creative ways that he does that for us.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah. Go to Psalm 52, 8 and 9. Psalm 52, 8 and 9.
Sure. But I am like a green olive tree in the house of God. I trust in the steadfast love of God forever and ever. I will thank you forever because you have done it. I will wait for your name, for it is good in the presence of the godly.
Yep. So he says, I'm going to be like a green olive tree in the house of God. Okay, when that picture, remember, you're in trouble, and so what is God saying? Well, you're going to thrive. In my place, you're going to thrive, and trust in me, trust in the mercy. The word mercy there is covenant loyalty. I'm loyal to the covenant. I'm going to deliver to you blessing to make you a blessing. You can be assured of it, and you can trust me on that. And then he says, I will wait on your name, for it is good. Okay, this is a very amazing statement. What does it mean? I'm waiting on your name, for it is good. What do you think that means?
I would assume that means more on his will. Like when we pray in Jesus' name, we're praying for his will to be done.
Yeah, it's a characteristic of God who remember when Moses said, "Who should I say sent me?" What did God
I
say?
am.
I am
I
that I
am.
am that I am. So I am the I am. What? I'm everything and all that you need for me to fulfill what I'm going to deliver to you to make you thrive.
Oh, that's good.
Wait on my name. In other words, you have a particular problem. It's not a generic, just take care of it. It's what power of yours, God, what truth of yours, God, what characteristic of yours, God, that I can wait on that will fulfill it, for it is good. And the word there is exceptional excellence and fulfilling the covenant that he promises. I can trust that. I'm going to wait for him and his nature to resolve this issue that I have. It's not a generic issue, it's specific. I might need provision. I might need healing. I might need somebody, God, to break through something, to open up a door. I might need a piece of God's love to be extended to me, for me to be comforted. Whatever it is, he says, wait on that. I've already decided what it is, God speaking. Wait on me to deliver that, because my name is good. I am everything that you need. I will resolve it. Trust me. Okay, go over to Psalm 31, 23 and 24.
Love the Lord your God, all his saints. The Lord preserves the faithful and abundantly repays the one who acts in pride. Be strong and let your heart take courage, all you who wait for the Lord.
Yeah. So he's talking about here is that when you're being opposed, God says, I'm going to take care of it. This opposition is not going to succeed. This opposition is not going to come against you and overwhelm you. I am going to defeat the opposition.
Right.
Wait for me to do that. Now again, the waiting is seeking, listening, walking, processing. It's not passive.
It's not passive. It's an active waiting. Yes.
It's not, okay, I'll just sit here. God, take care of it. Yeah, that's good. Let me know when you do. He said, no, you got to walk with me, so that, like we have with when Joshua went into the promised land, God said, I'm going to take you in and deliver to you the nations, and you're going to occupy this space that there's an enemy there. I'm going to overcome the enemy. Well, Joshua didn't say, okay, that's good. I'll just wait here, take care of it, and then let me know when you do. He said, no, you're going to have to walk with me into it, and wait with me, walk with me, step with me, city by city by city, and follow my instruction. I'll deliver it to you, but you're going to have to, waiting means the outcome will be mine as you're walking with me and following me. So it's very, very active. It's not a passive sitting on the sidelines. It's
a level of expectation, expecting to hear what to do next.
Right.
And where to step, and expecting the path to be lit for you.
That's right. Okay, go to Psalm 130, 5 to 8. Psalm 130, 5 to 8.
I wait for the Lord, my soul waits, and in his word I hope. My soul waits for the Lord, more than a watchman for the morning, more than a watchman for the morning. O Israel, hope in the Lord, for with the Lord there is steadfast love, and with him is plentiful redemption, and he will redeem Israel from all his iniquities.
Yeah. And this is one particularly where, I'm struggling. Seems like I failed. Seems like I'm not cutting it. Seems like I'm just not doing it right. And God says, well, I'm going to redeem you and cleanse you from your iniquity. I don't want you to feel guilty. I want you to feel joyful. Trust me. Let me deliver to you freedom about your heart, that even if you've caused this trouble, it doesn't matter to me. I can resolve this, and I'm gonna free you up from your iniquity. And he says, do it like a watchman. And he's implying a watchman on the wall. Okay.
Right.
Do you know how it worked when, each of the cities of Israel would have walls, and on top of the walls they'd have watchmen?
Right.
What were they doing?
they were stationed there as a post to watch for incoming enemies and all kinds of different things, but they were there, and then they would alert those who were inside the walls of anything they needed to know.
Yeah. So it's an observer. It's looking for what information, what truth do you want me to understand so that I can make sure that we're going to be safe, because I'm alert. I'm on alert. And so he says, as a watchman, when you're waiting, and this is why it's not passive, we'll be alert.
Right.
Watch for what I'm going to do next. Start looking for my insight. Start looking for my wisdom. Start looking for my truth that I'm going to give you so that you can have freedom, particularly when you're struggling with, I think I kind of caused part of this myself, or I think I haven't done it right, or I think I'm just not good enough. He says, no, this is about me, not about you. Let me free you from that, and look for my encouragement that this isn't about you, it's about me. Even by the way, when we've caused the problem.
Right. But that again comes back. Yesterday we talked so much about the heart. But that comes back to when we have a repentant heart and we're going and waiting with him,
Yes. Yeah. And the reason is when we say repentance, what do we mean? We're willing to do what?
To turn around and come back under, to surrender to him and let him lead.
I'll just walk with you and wait.
Yeah.
For you to fulfill what you have to say. I trust you. I'm not going to get ahead of you.
Right.
I'm not going to try to take this over myself. I'm not going to rush it. I'm not going to say, well, it's not fast enough for me, so I need to take care of it. I'll just trust you, walk with you, repent, and let you guide me into your fulfillment.
Right.
And all I'm supposed to do is be alert. Is be a watchman, be alert. What's next? What do you have to say next? What do you say now? And we'll move forward on that. Okay, go to Isaiah 30. This is cool. A statement about waiting. Isaiah 30, 18 to 19.
Therefore, the Lord waits to be gracious to you, and therefore he exalts himself to show mercy to you. For the Lord is a God of justice. Blessed are all those who wait for him. For a people shall dwell in Zion, in Jerusalem. You shall weep no more. He will surely be gracious to you at the sound of your cry. As soon as he hears it, he answers you.
Yeah. So he says, God's waiting for you to be gracious, to deliver the covenant, to be loyal to the covenant. Okay, what is he waiting for?
For us to turn around and stay with him.
Yeah. Yeah. He says, my plan is to deliver to you the answer to your problem. And I've got it ready. I'm going to resolve it. I have an answer for you. You don't need to worry. You don't need to fret. You don't need to go to fear. This is going to get resolved. Let me give you shalom while you do it. I'm waiting for you to simply say, I'd like to receive that. And I'm going to go with you to receive it. I surrender to you. I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to follow you and let you bring about your resolution. So yes, I say yes. He says, I'm waiting for you to say that. He says, now you wait for me. What are we waiting for?
Waiting for his lead, for his instruction,
Yeah.
for him to speak, for him to act, all of the above.
Yeah. So since you've said yes, now I can start delivering it to you. Wait for me to fulfill it step by step by step, and don't get ahead of me. And don't say, yeah, I want to surrender, but I'm going to take over and do it myself anyway because I can't wait. He says, no, you need to now wait for my answer. That's where perseverance comes in. That's where steadfastness comes in. Are you listening to what I have to say? Are you letting me give you wisdom and insight and clarity about it, so that you don't get ahead of it, so that I know your family is going through COVID right now.
Yes.
And you've got kids that are experiencing, it's not severe, but they're having it. Well, how are you approaching that in terms of God saying, well, I'm waiting for you, daughter. Are you going to ask me what I have to say? And then how are you approaching it?
Oh, well, I have, been praying for for him to give wisdom on what to do. And honestly, he's just filled our house with peace. I feel like we prayed about it and God said, you know what, just hang in there. This is actually going to be a few days of you guys to get to rest, and you serve them well, love them well, and you're going to see immunity just heightened across the board, and we're okay.
Yeah.
So in that, we're kind of doing that. I think Caleb honestly is having a little bit of a vacation from it, because Dan was laughing. He said, you know, this kid is not having that bad of a quarantine. He's upstairs playing games with his friends online. And when he, you know, says whatever, you bring him a bowl of ice cream, and then you bring him dinner. And then it's like, he's never going to want to come out of this room.
That's it. He says, I can wait a long time. I think this is good. But
honestly, that's been, you know, that was God's instruction is, you know, this is okay. You don't need to be stressed about this. You need to be wise with how you handle it. And at the same time, just love everybody well and serve them, and know, you know, this is part of what I'm doing, and I'm providing immunity, and it's fine.
Yeah. And so, you know, God gives the instruction so that, and it's about everything, so that, you know, with Jake, my partner, and I are doing this business in the pharmaceutical area, and we've got a company we're looking at acquiring, and there's some new information that came up about how they market and the structure of how they market. And so we've learned, well, okay, we got something that we don't quite understand, and what the implication of that is, and what do we do about that? So God says, well, I'm waiting. Are you going to ask me? Yep. Father, what do you got to say about this? Okay, let me guide you, and let me lead you to, this is technical. So we talked about it. What is it? Yeah, this is technical stuff. It has to do with compliance with the government and the way certain things are done. And so you need an expert that knows about this. Okay, so let me lead you to that. So he helped us lead us to the right attorney that can give us that insight. And so we presented it to him and said, here's the situation. They said, let us go research it a little bit, and we'll come back and we'll give you some input. So they did. They came back and said, yeah, the way they're doing it isn't really fully in compliance with the government regulations, and if you're gonna buy them, you're gonna have to do it differently. Okay. Now what? You see how I remember waiting. Right. What's the truth? God's waiting for us to keep asking. We're waiting for him to show us the answers. Well, we got a piece of information. We don't know yet the answer. So, okay, now what? He said, well, you're going to have to present to the seller what you found out, and see how he responds to that. He could say, okay, well, then let's go do it correctly. Or he could say, yeah, you know what? I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to sell the company to you, because I need to keep doing it this way, even though it's not correct. Well, see, I don't need to force the outcome. Well, yeah, but we want to buy this company. Could you do this, and this? God says, well, are you waiting for me?
Right.
To show you the truth of it. And I'll guide you to it. And now let's go this next step. Let's see what he does, and then I'll tell you what to do next. And waiting is going step by step by step. Now what? Okay,
right.
Now what?
And sometimes those steps are really long, and sometimes they come more quickly. I think even, you know, we've talked before about Dan and I having a dream of buying land or something to build a retreat house, and God has spoken promises of that. He's given us verses on it. Yet we're several years into this dream of it, and it's not transpiring yet. But he continues just along the way as we check back in and ask him, you know, what do you have to say now? Anything we should be alert to? He'll continue to give us different instructions. And even just a couple months ago, basically gave us the instruction just to start putting together, you know, a dream binder, and to be gathering ideas, but that he actually wasn't going to be revealing the particular land to us yet. And even in the last couple of weeks, it's funny because there was a piece of land I kind of had on my mind that I was watching online. And there were some reasons I was alerted to it. And God had given some verses. I'm like, hey, Dan, I think he may really be highlighting, you know, let's be praying and ask God to make it clear if this is something we should go look at or not. And the very next day, it is offline, not sold, not whatever, completely offline, off the market, nowhere to be found. I'm like, well, okay. He clearly needed me to get that distraction out of the way. So now we go, okay, what? Clearly that was a no for now. What are you saying? Right. And he's continuing to reveal other ideas. you know. So it's interesting how he speaks and moves over periods of time sometimes.
Absolutely. Well, let's finish this section on waiting with Psalm 40:31.
Sure. Isaiah 40:31.
Excuse me, Isaiah 40:31.
Oh, this is one of Linda's favorite verses, right? But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint.
Yeah, this is interesting that he said, if you wait, you'll actually get stronger. You're going to get more vibrant. You're going to get more freedom. You're going to get excited. You're going to soar. And it's an interesting thing about if you have a heart to wait and let God deliver step by step by step and let him fulfill it and bring about the resolution in his timing. Actually, while you're going through it, he said you're going to get stronger. You're going to get more excited. You're going to get more freedom. You're going to get more vibrant. And you'll see, and this is the reason, because you'll see things happen. Just like I was describing with that situation. Hey, we got a sticky wicket here. What do we do? Well, we saw things happen along the way. Well, we got led to the attorney. Well, the attorney said this. Well, now you do this, and now do this. Well, we're seeing things happen, and so we can sense, yeah, it's going to get resolved.
Right.
And because I'm sensing it's going to get resolved, I start to get vibrant with it. I start to get excited about it. Not like, this is never going to happen. It's the opposite.
Right.
This is going to happen.
You're seeing God make movement towards resolution.
I'm seeing it's just going to happen. So, as we, conclude this section today on waiting, it's not passive. It's walking with him. He's waiting for us to say yes. I'm going to follow you. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to listen to what you have to say. I'm going to follow your instruction. And I'm going to do that step by step by step until you get this fully resolved. And it doesn't matter to me how long it takes. I can wait, since it's best and none better. Why would I not?
Right, right.
And by the way, why don't you enjoy the walk of me resolving it step by step by step, which I'm going to encourage you to, and show you that you can be excited about it. And that's what we're trying to shift is instead of going to fear, worry, and anxiety, he wants us to go to excitement. Man, I can hardly wait to see how he's going to resolve this, and I get to wait with him in relationship until it's resolved. So,
and in expectation and hope. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So we'll pick this up again tomorrow. We're going to get into as we go into the waiting process and seeking the instruction. It's reiterating this ask, seek, and knock process. It's okay. How do we investigate further? More and more detail, more and more information, more and more understanding as we're trying now to walk into that instruction. And he said that's partly on our responsibility is to look for it. So we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Excellent. Looking forward to it. Thanks so much, as always, for joining us, everyone, and have a great afternoon, and we'll see you soon.
Yep, we'll see you soon.
Thank you for joining us for today's episode of Come and See, your podcast for truth in a world of chaos. Brought to you by All for Jesus Living Waters Ministry. Send us your questions and comments, and tune in tomorrow for more answers to your personal questions about living life in God's truth. Remember, God's will is best and none better. His truth brings peace in this world of chaos.